Check. Money. Hey, DJ. Young and Ride. Get that funky beat. Can we have everybody gather around, please?
Can I get?
Just know that there's two sides of our company. We have CannaVision and CANiPRENEUR. So CannaVision is all about shedding a light on the issues that are in the cannabis industry you don't get to see every single day. Or counter news, stories all the time in the headlines. What we do is we go directly to the community. We go directly to the big companies that are being protested against. We find out the full side of the story because everybody needs to see that. And with CANiPRENEUR, that's when we go into the how-to of things, because at the end of the day, we need to get our fair share. It's about providing solutions across the entire supply chain. Fred, he's being silly over here today, but he taught me how to actually use the 90% of my Rolodex that was just inactive. A lot of people see some folks came in here from Wisconsin, some folks came in from New York, from Massachusetts. A lot of cool people in my Rolodex that I just wasn't using at all. But what he taught me how to do is to organize all that and get all my good people together so we can all make money together. Too. So that's what we do on the CANiPRENEUR side. We help people monetize their Rolodexes. We help people fill in spots across the supply chain with vetted solutions, and we make sure everybody's making money together. So once a month, we come out here and we have a three-headed conversation. We believe that there are three sides of the industry. You have wellness, business, and you have lifestyle. What Susan has actually told us, our gracious host, is politics plays a healthy part in that as well. And the more stuff that we were able to tie succinctly into politics, the more views we got, the more responses we got. And so I really thank you for turning that side, because I was not political at all. I'm an anarchist, so.
Well, the funny thing about it is that's how you started CannaVision, was through, I was doing politics in the worldview, and around this time last year, I had about 2,400 people in my group. And me and Rico, we've always connected, but then we really connected really hard because he saw some things going on, and I'll let him get to the story. But the bottom line is,
I almost went crazy.
Yeah, he almost went crazy. But the reality of it is, that's how this world, at least the narrative that they want to give us. And I'm just like, no, it's not true. Nothing has meaning but the meaning we give it. And I think if we take that approach in the cannabis industry, we can basically use discernment to see what's fact, what's fiction, and what's somewhere in between. And we just sort it out through these two things. So,
yeah. So people who don't know much about Fred, Fred was actually a U.S. Marine Corps veteran, 6 years?
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, he was the secret clearance guy, and then he was actually pumping out propaganda for the U.S. government for a lot of time after that as a liaison between CNN, Fox News, and MSNBC. And the stuff that you see that's tearing us apart today.
That's why
how the inner workings.
Yeah, that's why I left, because usually guys like me either go to the State Department and do other stuff. I know, shout out to all my people out there who I can't mention names to, but we also do unseen work that at the end of the day does make the world go round. So I just couldn't do it anymore. I got out the Persian Gulf, was thankful for that. Got a special gift of PTSD, but I use that to my advantage, and that's what I do. But at the end of the day, that's why I'm so passionate about the plant. And this plant has brought all of us together, and that's why I'm super thankful to be here with Rico.
Right.
Thank you.
Shelly, you gotta give a shout out to Shelly from Cannabis Works.
Yes.
As well for the
Yes.
compassion program, because I was able to introduce Fred to the compassion program, and he goes over there for the drops. So shout out to our veterans in the game dealing with PTSD.
SD34. So if you don't know what that is, please Google it. And she does it every 6 weeks. And actually tomorrow I'll be there at 10 because she's doing it tomorrow and Saturday. So if you're interested, just please come see me. I'll talk to you a little bit more about it. But it's actually something that has saved a lot of people, and I'm super supportive of it. It's just how I play.
And we have some great people in our team too. So
Yes.
those of you guys who are not familiar with the State of Cannabis News Hour every single morning on Clubhouse, where you get your daily dose.
Weekdays.
Every
Because
weekday.
we take the weekend off because we like to have
Yes.
adventures.
Every weekday.
Weekend is
And,
a strong end because they keep adventures.
make sure you guys check that out as well. I have to do that because we're Susan. Also, we're gonna get that.
Isn't Susan like the bright light? I want to give her a round of applause.
Wow.
Seriously.
Big round of applause.
It is just amazing. Thank you so much for having us. I know we had to flip and do gymnastics at the last minute because the rest of the world doesn't want to play, but we get it. So thank you so much.
Right, and that's the important part is we're all out here. We usually are downtown LA. They're actually filming in the parking lot tonight, so we couldn't be outdoors. I know there's a huge uptick in the Loki variant.
Yes.
And
The tone variant was before that, so it's tone Loki.
yes, so but we had to be outside, and we wanted everybody to be safe and feel safe. So Susan was gracious enough to take us out into Grandma's garden.
Yes. And it's such a lovely garden. It's very enchanted. Thank you so much.
Yes, guys, look closely. See some cool shit. We have some outstanding people out here today. I cannot wait to get started. Our first guest, I've known her for, rewind a little bit. So before we introduce her, we have to talk about the My Bud Base as well. If you guys have not entered into the raffle, we have an incredible My Bud Base. You have that? Yeah,
It's
you wanna,
beautiful too. Anybody seen it?
you even have to tell people this base anymore. You
There was a line already
It's
for the raffle
balls.
tickets.
Balls. You have to say it with your teeth. Balls.
I don't talk like that, man. All right. If you guys get in the raffle, it's an incredible piece, and it's gonna help offset some of the costs that it took for us to like move over here and put some money in Susan's pocket because she was awesome to host us. So definitely appreciate you. And if you guys get down with that, it's excellent, like great Gatsby theme.
Plus, it's a woman-owned business.
And it's a woman-owned business, so shout out to the women.
There you go. Yes.
Beautiful.
So I will bring it closer. We'll start the bid out $1 million.
Good stuff. So make sure you guys check us out,
CANiPRENEUR.com.
There you go. And make sure you hit up Fred and his team at hello@CANiPRENEUR.com.
Yes.
If you guys have any questions, you guys need better solutions, we got a couple of huge leads coming this week from New York as well. There's a lot of great stuff going on across the country, and we can connect you guys with people. Even if we don't get paid off, it doesn't matter. We want good people in this industry, and we're going to push people towards people that we know also. So it doesn't matter where you are in the industry. If you don't have the answers, we're going to get you somebody with those answers because we need soldiers on the fucking ground right now. There's a lot of fuckery going on in this industry.
PH.
PH. It's not cussing?
Yeah, it's not custom.
No, we want to make sure everybody gets the fastest path to cash, as Fred would say.
Yeah.
Period. We've dealt with a lot of stuff out here in California, and people are following in the same line of steps.
Yep.
Right.
So we're releasing tomorrow, which means I'm going to do a
So Kraken?
So crack-a-lack, and so check for tomorrow. And just a little spoiler alert, it's pretty much if you want to learn how to do the behind-the-scenes magic Illuminati for your groups, so that we can really spread the word about the benefits of this medicine, then that's going to be our offer.
Delta8ministries.com.
Shout out to Master P. Yeah, 420, then we have 521.
That's good. Much love, Fred. Love you, brother. All right. Appreciate
Who
you.
we have up first?
Yes. And I'd like to introduce our first guest. She came all the way from Ridgecrest, California. So I've known her for almost 5 years now.
Yeah, it makes you, I think, 2017.
Yeah, 2017. Yeah, we're like the only two black people in the room.
Yeah, you told me where I was like, Brothers, hey.
The New West Summit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's an incredible person, incredibly smart. She's been on the plant protection side of the game for years. Now she's actually the state underwriter for equity grants.
On the team.
On the team, yes. So that's the plug. Helps people get, she knows the game inside and out, full review. She can't do like her family, like rocket science. Like, no, like no joke.
We're just people.
Like her dad, like a crazy like,
He-
smart shit.
20 jobs,
No,
man.
he does like
Yeah.
secret military stuff.
Shout out to my secret. So,
Military.
my good friend
I
for
don't
years
even
in the industry, Oaktown's finest. Chelsea. And, what happened? He exits.
Stage left.
Welcome.
Hi, everybody. My name's Chelsea. I would call myself a consultant in the industry. I've been a part of numerous projects. I met Rico in 2017, like you said. I was the first non-science hire for an extract company that I was doing at the time. They were very innovative extracts. And we were one of the conferences, one of the big ones, we're like, hey, the only black person, hey, another black person, so we connected.
We joke about it, but this is real.
It's real.
Right? Like,
This is very, very, very real.
on the legal side of the game,
Yes.
right? Like I was at a tech company, you were at like a science-driven extract
Yep.
company, and I'm like, hey, another black person.
Yeah, I think,
Good to meet
right, exactly. So we kept in contact over these last 4 years, and after that didn't work out. Culturally, just wasn't a fit for me. One of my former customers, Morris, he was like, hey, Chelsea, I want to take my brand from the traditional market, Prop 215, to legal. And he needed a face. At the time, he didn't want to be the CEO because he's an ops guy, gets it done, he sells weed. And he's like, perfect. You be that person. So I stepped into that role for the first maybe a year and some change. And we were able to launch on 4/20 of 2018. Self-funded, very bootstrapped, and we experienced all the hell that you would expect. Went from facility to facility. The distro was broken into, all kinds of fuckery, just all kinds. The brand now, PH. So the brand now is amazing. It's statewide distributed. It's on ease, so you could actually order it here. SF Roots, and they're growing really rapidly. Morris is doing an amazing job at growing the company. We have, I think there's 20, 30 some employees now, which is dope. Really dope, going from bootstrap, no funding, no outside funding at all, and to be statewide distributed and being able to survive in the Bay Area, okay, in San Francisco. During the time, I've worked on other projects. I was director of ops for a cannabis consulting company called Culture, and it was the project I worked on was great. It was a pilot project. So we're doing sales for 15 brands. So I managed both the brands and the sales staff. That was really quick. It was a really fast, very quick thing. And we decided, don't want to really pursue that. I moved on to working on another project, helping to build a distribution company, Locals Equity Distro. And it was bringing everything full circle. So SF Roots Morris is actually part owner of that distribution. The person I worked with on the culture project, Ramon Garcia, we
paid for this.
Yep, we paid for this. Yep, he's the president My colleague and my really good friend Nina Parks, she's part of the ownership group as well. And
Look
so
up Nina Parks if you have not. She's a
she is
powerhouse.
a powerhouse, especially in getting these regulations for equity, state and local, getting it done. She will get it done, and her voice is very loud. It's
So-
very loud.
So you went from a very science-driven
Mm-hmm.
extraction shop into a deeply rooted within the
Yeah.
streets
Yep.
equity, a transitioning equity
Mhm.
shop as well. What was the biggest obstacle, like transitioning from such a stiff,
Mhm.
rigid environment to something that was looking to tighten things up?
I don't know if it was all very challenging. For me, I felt a sense of freedom, not being in that stiff, rigid environment. So personally, even though, the funding wasn't there and we had to deal with help negotiate into facilities when San Francisco wasn't giving out permits to manufacturing companies at the time. So we had to actually work in Oakland. So negotiating those deals and building those relationships, that was fairly challenging. But I felt a sense of freedom because before legal weed, my family has a farm or had a farm, my cousin, and I have experience on the traditional side of the market. So it was more like being home with people who are real, not being with people who just think weed is cool. The scientist was dope, but the other guy was not. He just thought weed was a cool thing, and so that's why he wanted to do it.
So he was like a fan.
Yeah, he was just I didn't really smoke weed either, so that was weird to me too.
Is it, in your experience, I
Don't be that
I won't dig too deep into this, but in your experience, like, what is it like working with people in the cannabis industry that don't consider, they don't enjoy the plant, they don't have a connection with the plant?
I think if you specifically have a plant touching business and you don't consume at least a little bit, I know everyone's tolerance is different. Some people actually are allergic. But if you don't consume, you have a plant touching business, you don't belong in weed. You just don't. But I know there's those people because they have money, they have the business skills. It's the new Silicon Valley. I get it financially. It's weed's gonna blow. We're in the infancy of the markets in California, or the infancy of the industry in general. So I get it. But those people typically they don't have the connection, and I have seen those type of people not be able to either survive or their brands are fail.
Yeah, I mean it's weird.
It's weird.
It's hard to explain that without sounding like an asshole. But but it's true. It's an organic experience, a communal plant, and it's really tough to be in this industry and to get it right. Like with my company, when we went public, right? Like we were taken over by a bunch of VC guys from Canada, and this can be just like big farmers, can be just like big alcohol. Like no, motherfuckers, like no, it's not.
It's not.
They came down and not gonna talk about it.
Right.
You're thinking that you can do what you guys can do in Oakland, and you can bring that to Boston. You can bring that to DC. They don't understand that this comes from the community.
It comes from the culture.
It comes from the culture. That's what separates our industry from everything else.
Right.
Is you have to have that side of it. You have to have that connection. If you don't have that connection, you gotta have people on your team that are deeply connected to it, right?
You have to have people on your team that are really connected to the plants and also to the people. I think even if you're like a VC dude or lady who's building a company from scratch, you don't have experience in the traditional market or any of that, hire those people. Don't look down on them. What I've seen, I know you have, are people. I have experience in the traditional market, but I have a degree from Berkeley, and I worked at NASA, and my resume looks good.
I told you, she's done.
But not everyone who's had traditional market experience has those academic pedigrees, and those people often are looked down upon, which is ridiculous because
100%.
they know more about the plant than, you know, a VC do. They know more about the plant than often a PhD scientist who just studies.
Right.
So
We can learn something.
right. And so I think that's what's different in this industry is that, you know, you could hire the, you know, people with the degrees and the business background and technical backgrounds you need, but also really pay attention to people who have real life practical experience. They bring a lot of culture to your company, and you need it, or so you need it to stay. I've seen too many companies not make it, or just pour money down the drain. You know, they're operating in the red. They have lots of monies in the bank, but they're operating in the red because they don't have that real like touch. So they're just hiring the people with the degrees and the, you know, certifications. No, don't do that.
Right, and there's nothing wrong, yeah, like just like you said, like I got 2 degrees from Northwestern, but
Right. You're a smart dude. We already know that.
yeah, but it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Like in this industry, what matters is that you have a 360-degree view,
Right.
and you're able to draw some stuff from the lifestyle. You're able to recognize the plant as medicine,
Exactly.
but also you need that, you know, that Ivy League school business shit to make sure you don't go out like business. Make sure you have strong legal team behind you.
Right.
Yeah. And that goes directly into what you're doing now.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that, please.
Yeah. Okay. So now I am a part of Elevate Impact, and Elevate Impact is a consulting firm. It's a Black woman owned and founded. Paula has a background in finance and private equity. So she actually used to have a firm as well. And so the team is comprised of people like me with real life experience, also the academic knowledge to do the underwriting work. There's a researcher on our team who also has 2 degrees. There's other finance people on the team, and which is the amazing thing is mostly people of color that have a touch in the community. One of the guys grew up in Mendo. He's a finance dude.
This finance dude from Mendo?
But from Mendocino. So he has a real touch with these cultivators and farmers that are applying for these loans, which is amazing. And my clients largely are actually here in LA because it's more pressing to get the loan that the grants actually in LA processed. Also in Oakland and Sacramento as well. So it's an incredibly interesting role in getting to know how this system is being built, because this is essentially the first program in the nation to give government monies to weed companies, like for a loan or a grant. So it's the beginning of like a real banking system, which is interesting, super interesting and innovative.
You're doing cool shit, man.
So doing cool stuff and helping people. That's the most important thing for me is to you know, being on stage and all this shit is, yeah, that's cool. But what's important to me is actually doing stuff that makes an impact. You know?
That's big, man. I love that. Clap to that shit.
Yeah. The equity community or the legacy community is very important to me. So doing shit that makes an impact. So getting people's their weed monies.
It's funny you talk about weed monies.
All right. Well, I got to talk about my brand, actually.
Yes.
I do have a brand.
Shit, man.
I have a brand. It's a lifestyle brand. Calling Mary Jane is the lifestyle brand. I have a campaign called Weed Money that I recently launched. I have some merch out, some cool bucket hats, and
I got one.
Rico has one. And Weed Money is not just, you know, weed and money. It's deeper than that. I think a lot of people, including myself, have found some sort of freedom working in cannabis that we didn't have. I didn't have for sure in my old like engineering jobs. I didn't have at all. So freedom and justice, because cannabis, especially for a black and brown person, we all know people who've been incarcerated. My cousin was locked up. Our family farm or his farm was chopped. He was locked up. I sold weed on the streets to help pay for his lawyer. He was financing people in my family. So everyone had, or not everyone, but a lot of people have these stories, and it's important for us to like bring about some sort of economic justice to the community. It's very, very important. It's not just, oh, just give monies to, you know, black and brown people for nothing. No, people have suffered and are continually in jail today for minor weed offenses. We're allowed to be out here smoking this beautiful backyard
Make
and
money off of it.
shared products and all this shit. People are locked up still today for what we're doing for free. We're doing and like we're enjoying ourselves. So it's important, I think, for all cannabis companies, regardless if you're ancillary or plant touching, to remember that. We're actually very privileged to be doing what we're doing. And it's important for me, like, for this campaign to like push that message. It's a very dope, like, lifestyle. Like, I love streetwear, so it's very streetwear, but it's also has a deeper meaning behind it.
I love that. And you guys are launching soon, and I can't wait to see the rest of the gear. So tonight's theme is the future state of cannabis, right?
Yeah.
So I've known you for almost 5 years now in
That's
the
great.
industry. I hate cliches. Everybody knows that Fred wants me to use more cliches because it's more marketable. but let me get into it, Fred. But everybody in the cannabis industry, they say like a year in the industry is like a dog year, it's like 7 years.
Right.
That's
We're
real.
OGs. We're OGs.
That's real. The industry's gone through so many changes. For me being on the legal side, I've done some shit before, but on the legal side, like just from late 2016 on, it's different every
year.
every month,
Yeah.
right? Like the laws change so quickly. What do you see as the next steps for the industry? You're doing some really, really cool stuff on the banking side, getting people paid, getting people licensed up. You see a lot of stuff. We're going to be talking about solar tonight. We're going to be talking about politics tonight. What do you see as the next big thing that is community driven in our industry?
I see that there's a lot of, for the legacy and equity brands that have survived these past few years, there's a lot of cooperative work being done. And I think for smaller companies that have a real community root, in order to survive, like Big Canna, the Walmart of weed, the Targets of weed, are going to have to come together. And the projects that I've worked on, it's not just SF roots. It's not just local equities distro, just providing services. No, we're actually a community that builds and truly, truly gives back. There is a certification that will be rolling out, the first federally marked certification for cannabis that my colleagues worked on. So you should probably talk to Ramon to get him to talk about that.
How is it possible you can get something federally trademarked in the cannabis industry?
There it is,
tied to cannabis
and it
explicitly?
happens explicitly tied to weed.
It's not like an innuendo.
No.
You heard that, Fred?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, the equity trade certification. So that is like, what would be it would be like equity trade or the organic certification for every other product. So it includes cannabis products, but also other products as well. So to provide a larger network specifically for equity, for legacy brands, smaller brands, POC woman-owned, all the whole gambit, to access resources that normally people wouldn't have access to help build their supply chains, to help connect the dots, for mentoring, shoulder to cry on, because it's really, really hard. It's really hard.
Shout out to Ramon, and I haven't seen
Nina's also a co-founder too.
What up, Nina? I haven't seen either of them in years. I haven't seen anybody in years, so last year didn't happen. But, a big shout out to them. I gotta hit up Ramon because that's huge.
Yes.
We got to get the word out about that. We got to make sure we're connecting the dots on our end, and make sure people at least have the opportunity to hear and to see that.
Right.
That's why we do what we do.
Right. And I was fortunate enough to be in the room when those conversations were being had, and to be able to celebrate. Like when Ramon got the email, he's like, "Guess what? and it's actually trademarked. So it's rolling out now, which is great.
That's awesome, man. So as we're wrapping up time here, I would like to give you an opportunity to close us out, let everybody know at home what you got going on, any local or grand initiatives you have, or you want to draw eyes to, and where people can get people at home can find you as well, please.
Okay. So you could find me at chelsea@callingmaryjane.com. You can always email me, or on Instagram, calling_MaryJane, MaryJane. And my last closing remarks is remember the people and remember the plant. We're doing all this cool shit because of a healing plant. And remember the people that grow the plant are important. Grow and sell it. And be fortunate to be here. I know weed is really, really hard. I've gone through a tremendous amount being in this industry. I've developed I'm a new person actually from 2017 when I basically ended my former career in energy engineering. Then now a different person. So just remember the plant is very healing. It's transformative, and remember the people also. Be a good human. Don't be an asshole. No one.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Chelsea.
And we get that bucket too. Put it on.
Can't mess up the hair right now. Turn it up. You guys can't hear in the back? I've got a little bit more resonance from the diaphragm. Mine's good. Maybe it's the other mic. Check. The vase. It's got a really nice, great gaspy theme to it. Can you guys hear us in the back? Yeah. What about now?
Yes.
Okay. So when everybody comes on, just make sure you have your mic.
Don't jip that, dude.
All right. Cool. We good? All right. So have a big round of applause for Chelsea. Chelsea's awesome, and I'm very, very glad she got to join us today. We had to have a quick sub at the end. Also, this industry's always keeping me on your toes. Regardless, you have to be able to pivot really, really quickly. I'm just blessed to have met some awesome people along the way. I'm like, yo, really love what you're doing. We have to go Saturday. She came out. So definitely appreciate you coming out, and I'll take care of you coming down that trip too. And you can give me some Raytheon secrets and shit. You know? Seriously. No joke. No, but it's really, really good to make sure you guys are grounded in this community. Everybody knows that. Some people in here I've known for years as well. Brandon Dorsey, was it? I met you up there too. Did I meet you on Earth? Yeah, absolutely. I've just been blessed because when I came into the industry, my sister was a consultant for trap farmers up in Sebastopol, and I was able to meet awesome people like Chelsea, awesome people like Brandon, and get to see the other side of this plant that many people that are entering, they just don't know that game. And if you don't get to know that side of the industry, you're not going to understand how to grow and how to connect with people. So that's why I always connect the dots there. And I always going to bring people that are connected to the community, because that's going to give you an edge to make money in this shit too. So speaking of our next guest, he actually comes all the way from the East Coast. He and his company are doing some fantastic things, futuristic shit. Also helping people get financed, helping people fund projects, was something that we are all very, very, very well aware of out here in California, but we've had roadblocks because of that. And our lawyer, is she out here yet? Dana, you out here? I can't see, everything's black back there. It's black back here too. But I can't see Dana Cisneros, like our lawyer, actually had like some like choice questions, and they were able to answer those questions. And what they're doing is really different than a lot of the other solar companies. Period. So I got my man Dan Renner coming out here. Director of Ops at SolBid. I love the ostrich
Thank you.
boots. A lot of people don't know about boots, but I've been to Texas, and I was privied. Like one of my best friends is from Houston,
Okay.
and this story is actually like loosely tied to the cannabis industry too. Wait for it. So the last game that I played in college football, the Sun Bowl in El Paso, right? And you'd be surprised what $20 American buy you at a bar.
Sure.
In Juarez. Yeah, we were young and dumb, like it was like my senior year, and we had no idea like how bad like the cartel and like shit was like fucked up over there. And so like we just like met these girls on MySpace at the time, and they took us like down there, and $20 goes a long way in Juarez, right? And I ended up with some ostrich.
Authentic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
authentic.
You pluck that turkey that day and wrap it around a boot for it.
Oh man, so I like those. But either way, if the good people at home, you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do in the solar industry,
Sure.
as well, and why it's such a big deal, and more people need to be looking into the cannabis industry.
Yeah. So I work for a company called SolBid Inc. It was founded back in 2014 by Ian Ricci and Nate Renner. Basically what they do is they went into it looking to tear down the barriers that are stopping businesses from getting into it. There's a lot of similarities, and especially listening to everybody talk here, it's a fragmented industry. So you have local municipalities, different rules. You have government, state laws, different rules. And like you've been saying, state to state, it's all different.
Like municipality up, like here, like it's crazy.
So what they did is they built proprietary software that is able to give an offering to their customers and businesses with a full turnkey solution for not just solar, but energy marketplace.
50 megawatts.
Yeah.
So for somebody who's not as familiar with the solar world or anything like that, like myself, what does that even mean? Like everybody's like geeking out, like 50 fucking megawatts. I was like,
yeah. So my past life, I was in the field electrician for been in the electrical industry for over a decade, almost two now. I was started out as an electrician in the field, and I was also a medium voltage splicer and heavy equipment operator. So those are two big things that get you into industrial grid tie solar places. Because anything that's going to go out to the grid would have to have a medium voltage component to it. And then you're just installing big stuff, so you need somebody to run a piece of machinery. So what that did is it made me a pretty valued asset in the field. Gotta have refreshments. So I got
gout. Everybody talking shit about me drinking white wine. I have gout.
yeah.
I can't drink Red Bull or beer.
This is sparkling.
I'm a sophisticated motherfucker.
You know what ostrich boots are? You're doing fine. So with that, I kind of got to be a hired gun for years because of my certifications and my licensure.
You're pounding the pavement.
Yeah, oh yeah, that was my life. So I got to travel a lot, got to see all different kinds of installations, and this was really when things started to kick off in like 2008. The government funding was there, the state mandates were there, and solar really just started cranking away. So from there, I got exposed to ground mounts, carports, rooftops. Big thing back there that was low-hanging fruit for the large sites were these brown sites they couldn't do anything with. So old.
What is a brown site?
Yeah, so old dump that's been capped off. They can't do anything with the land. You can't plant on it. Old refineries where they did something involved with the Manhattan Project and you can't touch the soil.
Wow.
What they did was they go in and they put a rubber membrane, seal it, drop 2 feet of topsoil, and then put solar on top of it.
I bet you got some fucking stories, dude.
Yeah. I'll give you a quick one if you want.
Please.
So
please.
we were working at this place. It was an old foundry in Springfield, Massachusetts. And I wasn't joking. They were part
The birthplace of basketball.
That's right. and Holyoke right next was volleyball. A lot of stuff from Massachusetts. So
Volleyball?
yeah, that's from Holyoke.
No.
Oh, wait a-
You're in California, man. You can't say shit like that. Like,
I've been lied to a lot, but I have some backup over here. And we have Google. We can just Google it.
you got Google.
Google is Google. So with that, working at this site that used to be part of the Manhattan Project, I guess, they had to shoot radar into the ground before we could touch anything on the site. So they went out. Anybody's seen the first?
LiDAR?
Yeah. Have everybody seen the first Jurassic Park where they shot radar into the ground and they could see where the bones were? Same thing. So they shot radar where to make sure we wouldn't hit anything. We were putting the pylons in for the solar. And what they found was a 50 by 50 concrete building about 25 feet under the ground.
Oh.
Did you know about this, Fred?
So we also were like, what's that? And they're like, we don't have to worry about that. That little guy, don't worry about that little guy. So there was basically a big thing on that site, like that's why they buried everything. You couldn't, no dirt. There was like 2 feet of stone on top of it. So yeah, some stuff. You have to travel a lot. So with that, I kind of moved up in the ranks and became a journeyman to a foreman, running multi-million-dollar construction installs for PV and just industrial commercial applications. Did that for a couple of years and then screwed up enough that I went in the office to get the business side of things. Started out as an estimator, project manager, and eventually I was a division manager of my own like company within a company, and then had all those sub trades working under me. I had my own PMs, had my own estimators, and installers in the field. And that's how I built my background of over 50 megawatts of solar install.
That's pretty dope, dude.
Thanks.
Yeah. Good round of applause for this guy.
Yeah.
He did some fucking work. And did the ancient Egyptians actually have solar power?
I believe there's a hieroglyphic that can prove anything or any question if you look hard enough.
It's a hieroglyphic.
Hieroglyphic.
Hi,
Hi.
bro.
Hydro.
Hi.
What?
We need him on the team.
Okay.
Fred.
I'll make puns. They'll be bad all night. That and I'm a little loopy from the flight today.
Just
So
as long as they're big, man.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. About puns.
big puns.
Right.
Crush a lot. Let's see what happens.
We can go all night, bro.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So, what are specific ways that the cannabis industry can actually benefit more from solar? Like one of the questions, the first questions that Dana, like our lawyer, like I came at to me with was like, where do they store it? Where do they store it? Because there's Susan can talk about this. Probably anybody that's in the industry, like in the room, can talk about this. Like one of the biggest obstacles in California with scaling a business is the fact that everything is done municipality up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really tough without having super duper deep pockets to be able to go from a municipality to municipality because there's different rules.
Oh yeah, it's my world. I totally understand. Yeah.
All right, so with Dana, it's like, oh, how do they store solar? Because a lot of these municipalities, if you have a generator, you can't have generator based this, you can't do this, you can't do that. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. That's the best thing to say when you don't something. If you just don't know. I don't know.
So what are some of the things that you can and can't do, and what are some of the things you have to look out for if you're looking to implement solar?
Sure. So the cannabis industry, I don't have to tell anybody he's an power, right? Typical lights are metal halides. They consume crazy power. You got HVAC equipment, filtration for water. So it's a perfect marriage for how do you cut down on your energy use. A lot of towns, cities, municipalities, will keep saying those words over and over again, are mandating a reduction in either carbon footprint or they're making you have a renewable aspect to your business in order to be operating a large consumer. And that's where solar can come in. So with solar, I'm going to be throwing out a couple terms and we can get into them a little bit more in a minute, but key things are behind the meter and net metering. So for cannabis in California, the biggest offerings that you can have for solar is if you have it on your building. Well, let me back up for a second. So you have utility, you have your meter in the middle that separates the business. So your business is here, you have utility over here and the meter in the middle. As your business is running, you're going to be drawing power from the grid, passes through a meter, and that's how they determine how much your bill is going to be. All right. We'll install solar on the customer side or behind the meter so that when the sun's out and it's producing electricity,
The guns are out.
guns are out, producing likes. So when the sun's out and it's producing electricity for your business and you're the consumer of it, you're paying for that electricity. The other caveat to that, which is the net metering part of it, if your solar is out and it's producing electricity, but you're not consuming it because maybe your business isn't open or it's Saturday or Sunday and you don't have a lot of consumption, that extra power is going to go out through that meter back to the grid, hence the net metering. It's going to catch those and you're going to receive those back on your bill in lieu of credits. So those are the two biggest ways that you're going to save on money.
So you're actually like making, like harvesting that energy.
Correct. A lot of states don't have a net metering program. That is one good thing in California that is there. So that's the two ways, which is real-time generation. You're operating, you're producing electricity. It doesn't cost you anything to produce that electricity.
Right.
You're going to use that first. And then when you're putting credit, power back out into the grid, you'll receive credits for that.
So do you have to like own the property? Do you have to like own the property to actually make money off of it? Do you have to? Did we go into that?
Yeah, sure. You do not. You just need to be paying the electric bill. So,
Wow.
yeah. So there's a bunch of different structures for how these can be installed, and depending on what your business structure is, will depend on what you'll have for incentives and what you can apply for in lieu of the net metering program. So the key things to keep are, you want to size a system that's not going to be bigger than what you consume. And the reason for that is, and that's one of those roadblocks you're talking about. Well, I want to put 4 megawatts somewhere. Well, great. Do you consume 4 megawatts? No. Then you have to do an impact study with the power company because you're cutting into their money. They don't like that. So
The cartels,
yeah, utility cartels. So what you do,
they're
and
real.
yeah,
Yeah.
much to the credit of the founders, is they found this sweet spot, which is behind the meter. So as long as you're producing via solar or energy storage no more than you consume, they can't hit you with all these impact studies or infrastructure upgrades. Because what they'll do is they'll take, and I've seen it, you have a $400,000 installation going in somewhere, but you're going to be producing more and putting out to the grid than you consume. And they say, great, you can do that. It's not a problem, but we're going to need, $1.5 million to upgrade the lines. And we're going to have to do an impact study around $40,000. And they just kill the project. So that's really where Ian and Nate found the sweet spot, which is behind the meter. The other thing we can offer for California and anywhere in the country right now, but especially California, which is hard for cannabis countries, is financing.
We should talk to the people at home too. It's not just California because we have, I think our biggest audience outside of California, I always bring up in New York, is we have like Massachusetts. We have a strong showing in like Atlanta and Virginia too. I'm from Virginia, so if there's opportunities out there too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's more of the
Chicago. I know we have a lot of.
I was in
I live-
Chicago today.
I lived there for
At least
12
40
years.
minutes.
A lot of snow, but it gets hot and it's sunny in the summer too. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so
like, what is it just more opportunity on the West Coast because we have more sun, or is it just different and unique?
it is absolutely a benefit in California. Well, it's a benefit because of how much your electric is already costing you. It's way more than most states. So when you can use your own power, the savings is already immediate without even putting out to the grid. Because bring this up too, which is kind of ties into cannabis.
They're using like electric bugs over there. I see.
Sorry.
It's DC. Be careful.
Direct current.
Yeah.
Nikola Tesla. Alternating current.
So, we're getting theories all night. So,
Not the drones you're looking for.
no, definitely not.
So, yeah, a little further down there.
Yeah. So with cannabis, I know one of the hardest things is to get funding and financing. And through our channel partners, we can provide 100% financing on solar projects with up to 7-year terms.
You guys hear that? Like 7-year terms, 100% funding on projects in the cannabis universe. This is like one of the biggest reasons why I brought this guy out here, is because he can actually get funding and get away from these assholes that don't get
Absolutely.
funding to companies in our industry. So, talk a little bit about that, please.
As far as funding?
Yeah, weed money.
Yeah, weed money. Yeah, so that's through our channel partners, we can offer those kind of incentives and loans. The other kind of incentive we can offer is enrollment in the California net metering program, which I explained, which is that's when your credits go back out, that's what's going to show up on your electric bill. A big difference, and I might be jumping around a little bit, but the key thing that SolBid does that changes the dynamic between other solar companies is we're not a developer, we're a designer. What does that mean, right? Well, we provide a path to ownership for entrepreneurs and business owners. You're going to own your solar installation, which means you're going to get all the financial benefit from it. Developers will come in and put solar on your business, but they're going to own it. And the only thing you're going to get from it is a discount on your electric bill in the form of maybe a couple cents off your kilowatt hour. So that net metering credit and that on-time generation, you're not going to see the benefit of it.
Right. And it's like one of the things, because when I learned a little bit about what you guys were doing, and I'm like, sounds pretty fucking dope. One of the people that I told about it, and I told like 3 or 4 people, like, they're like, it's another one of those fucking MLM, like solar MLM shits. And what I say, I asked you guys, I'm like,
There's,
you guys one of those fucking MLM.
yeah, there is,
Play with me,
unfortunately,
bro.
and you know where my background comes from, right? So if I run into Home Depot on the weekend to grab a bag of grass seed, I got 4 people run up to me with a clipboard. Have you thought about putting solar on your home? And I'm like, don't even start.
We all are shit here in California.
It's terrible. It's everywhere. And those people are working for those companies that are going to own your system. It's called a power purchase agreement. It's basically the same thing you have with the utility company. And unfortunately, it's put a black eye on the industry, and it's put
Or a white eye.
or white eye or brown eye, sad eye, happy eye, any kind of eye. Ohos, we can do multi-language.
Oh, what?
So, yeah, we all have that memory in our head of somebody with a clipboard tracking a sound going, you need to have solar. And you're going, you know nothing of what you're selling right now. You're just somebody that went to a course for a weekend and they said, there you go. I know you were selling knives and vacuums last weekend, but now you sell solar.
I made a lot of money with Cutco, dude.
Cuckoo!
Shout out to
I didn't say names, you named names. Yeah, so
prepaid legal.
that's again, I'll keep giving credit where credit's due to Ian and Nate. That's their business model. They decided to empower businesses, empower our customers with a pathway to ownership. So they retain everything, which only makes sense.
It's pretty cool. And what I've been learning from you guys like over the last couple months is like, yeah, this shit is not only like legit, but you're actually like, helping people make money.
Yeah.
So you're like building like solar farms on top of people's businesses. So
Oh, yeah.
they're not paying like hundreds of thousands of dollars in electric bills anymore. You're actually making that money
Yep.
and more, right? Why is this not being adopted like sooner? Why are we not hearing more? All right, answer. I'm like looking for Fred because it's kind of shit that Fred teaches me, this Illuminati bullshit. Because it is so ingrained into our culture. You know, we have to do this. We have to use this because like everybody else is doing it. But you're just feeding these global cartels.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't say that like tongue in cheek. Everybody out here, like that's what the fuck it is. You know, I get pissed off because, you know, I live in South LA because I was in the South Bay. We sold our place and I don't have fiber internet, right? In the middle of the fucking city. And I create so much fucking content. That's why my shit, everybody at home gets mad at me. That's why my shit doesn't fucking go up so quickly because I don't have fiber internet. I found out like there's a 4-block radius, like where I live, it doesn't have fiber. So I have to like go other places to like I can have quick uploads and everything. It's another fucking cartel. There's like all of these. There's like gang lines And they don't fuck with, AT&T doesn't fuck with Spectrum, doesn't fuck with Verizon. And how do we communicate to people that they need to, like, there's other options. You can actually build shit like on your own. You can build.
So
Absolutely.
that's
Wealth, right?
Yeah, and that's the essence of what SolBid is they went out and through proprietary software and machine learning technology, they have all these data points that we pull from that normally is quagmire to try to get any straight answer out of a utility or municipality and how you would do these things. So with that, we can take someone's electric bill, put it into our software, and then that software will generate a real-time aerial image. We can put a physical overlay on your building. You'll get a full financial analytics, you get pro forma, you get your cash flow analysis for that, and then you'll get a turnkey solution for it that'll have labor and everything worked out. The hardest problem is, and it's the same thing with cannabis, is, and you've touched on it, it's fragmented. It's hard to know where all these issues are before they would come up. And you hear horror stories from people that get sold a bill of goods that can never be made. And it happens constantly. People will approach me with a project from another developer, and yeah, this is great. We're going to put X amount here in the book. And then I started looking at it, I'm like, man, these numbers are all skewed. What do you mean? They're selling you. Yeah, you said you wanted a 5-year ROI, you wanted to, turn around your investment in a certain timeline. They made it look like that. It's not accurate. And that's the biggest part of what we do too. I know you never think anybody would lie to anybody, but we use real-time data points. We use proven sourcing for all of our information. And when we size our systems so that we meet or exceed our installations, we want our customers to be return customers. That's where we make our bread and butter. We have many manufacturing facilities in Connecticut that we started out maybe a 500.
In Connecticut, ain't got no fucking sun, dude.
They got sun. Keep defending New England. Got a little sun.
Fuck Tom Brady, dude.
Oh, he's not.
You don't want to fight?
You don't like Florida? You don't like Florida?
He's all winning though. You gotta give him.
Yeah, he's not.
He needs to chill on that Botox.
He's definitely not. But with that, yeah, we have these repeat customers. That's really how we make our business. So we have a one of the largest. Speaking of Connecticut, they make and are known for broadleaf tobacco and shade tobacco. All the world's finest cigars use and boast a Connecticut broadleaf or shade tobacco wrapper. If you get a Cuban,
did not know that.
If you get like a Macanudo from Cuba and you read it, it'll be this kind of filler, and with a Connecticut shade or broadleaf wrapper.
The kind of cigars that I grew up with were mostly White Owls.
Yeah.
Black and Mild.
Dutch Masters,
cigarillos,
Backwoods. So the high-end cigars, this company, what they did is they made their whole business on its manufacturing. They process tobacco, they make wrappers, they make all this custom.
Like big industry.
Oh
in
yeah,
the Northeast.
Yeah, and it's what Connecticut's known for. Is Connecticut River Valley is known for their tobacco. So with that, we ended up, because of their huge consumption of power, we had a whole megawatt behind their meter.
Another one.
Yep, another one. So we got that in for them. By the time we were done with that, they started to see the immediate revenue coming in from it. They started to see the fact that their electric bill got cut in third. And then they let us know, hey, we also own a bowling alley down there. Can you do it there? Sure. Did their bowling alley. Then all of a sudden, hey, we own an adventure park on the other side of town. Okay, so 1 meg turns into 1.7. And now they're one of our biggest repeat customers. We didn't know at the time they owned half of this area in Connecticut. but
you did right by them. You got the referral.
That's right.
Right.
And we let them know when projects weren't sound too. We went out with them and we were honest with them on projects, saying like, this is not going to be a good install for this place. It's not going to work. And that's what we can identify with our software and identify quickly, so we know if it's viable or if it's not. But with them now, this year, coming up before the end of 2021, we'll have another meg installed at one of their manufacturing facilities.
I love it, man. Because that's what we're all about, man. We're all about like making those connections, making sure everybody eats, period, creating reviews for everybody, and being able to expand your network. And without MLMs. Right? No, but seriously, so I'm glad you came out. I'm glad what you're doing with us, what you're offering the community, and I really, really, really want you to show people the light that you showed us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, because I didn't know that was even a thing. I didn't know that was available. You know, other than like the Solar City guys that used to be.
All right.
Yeah.
Shout out to Elon Musk, man. All right, so last thing before we cut off here, we'll get it more while you're out here this weekend. But can you tell the good people at home any initiatives, anything you got going on, either personally with the company, or stuff that people should look out for, and where they can find you?
Yeah. So everybody here tonight, you can see this beautiful lanyard I'm wearing. This will bring you to our intake page, which
Can I get one of those iced out?
well, this one on back is actually, I don't know if any fans of the Fifth Element. This is my multi-pass vaccination card. It's my wife got me this. So
I'm surprised my wife.
So with that, you can scan this QR code to bring you to our intake page. I believe when this video is put out, we'll also have that link on there. And what that'll bring you to is a page where you can learn about more things that we talked about tonight, as well as apply for getting a proposal made for you. Our West Coast representative, Ryan Sasinski, over here tonight, also has a lanyard. You can get that scanned, and he will be reaching back out to you guys that are looking to get a proposal.
So the cool thing that they do is just plug it into their software. They know like the amount of sun that you get per year, per season, like all that shit. They can tell you like a complete estimate. Yeah. Like you're gonna either make money or not. Like right there. So we used to have like in the finance industry, we had like IXI to tell us the same shit, like who to talk to. And it's a powerful fucking tool. I've not seen that in the solar space. So yeah, it's pretty big. I appreciate what you guys are doing and being environmental futurists.
Oh, absolutely.
And one of the biggest reasons why I brought him out here, people in the industry, you know Gavin Newsom, when he did that the bailout, the $100 million cannabis industry bailout, he said a lot of people, it's bullshit. Gavin, you know that shit. But, he said a lot of he said a lot of reasons why he hasn't given out actual licenses is because people can't pass the environmental sniff test in the industry.
Yeah,
but they're doing shit like not letting people use solar power because you guys are using generators. You can't do that shit. No, they want people on the fucking grid. They want people to lose all their money, so they go out of business. But then, oh shit, we have COVID-19, not making any money off of anything except for 280E.
Yes.
Right.
So that's why I brought this motherfucker out. You can help people make money, you can help finance fucking projects, and it works with us.
Yeah.
Too.
Absolutely.
So appreciate you coming out, my brother.
Yeah, no problem.
And is there anything you're gonna get? Closing remarks? Anything?
No, I think we touched on a lot, including your hate of Tom Brady. So that was good to get that in there real quick. Yeah, I'll be here tonight. Anybody's interested? Yeah, please come over, talk to me, talk to Ryan, and yeah, thanks for the time.
Appreciate you, brother. Much love. Please give Dan a big round of applause. Appreciate you, brother.
Awesome.
If everybody wants to take a quick break, I'm gonna check this camera, make sure it's not overheating. We're gonna come back in like 3 minutes, and we're gonna have the star of the show, the lady of the house as well, Susan Soares. All right. So like 2 minutes, you guys can use some water or something. Just make sure this isn't overheating. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not over. So the memory card is done, so it doesn't matter. It's still recording on restream.
Okay.
So?
Yeah.
Is this good?
Don't know.
So 1 minute.
Yeah, we're good. Excellent. Is it? Yeah, we're good.
Good.
Actually, might come up.
Glasses on or glasses off, Brandon?
On.
Somebody look like less daddy. Everybody have a big, healthy welcome to DJ Rye. So my guy out in the back, I've known him for, he's enjoyed the music when he came in here. We got to keep it, give a love to the East Coast guys. So I've known that guy, what's it been, like 23 years now, bro? He just had a baby. We're both girl dads now too. But don't ask me any questions about what I was doing at like 06 or 07.
We still live.
I was a different person. No, he's awesome, and he came out because he wants to be in the cannabis industry. He wants to have more connections there too. A lot of people don't realize like where we are, the hockey stick moment of this industry, and it really takes every side of this. We got to make sure we get our shit tight, get our shit together, make sure we're financed properly, make sure we're backed legally properly, make sure we're looking out for each other. So I really appreciate everybody coming out here, connecting those dots with us, and no bigger dot connector than I know in this industry than the CEO of the state of cannabis, care.org as well. It's Susan Soares. Thank you. You get to light one up together too? Of course. That's why I kicked this here for you.
Each get our own?
Yeah, you want to grab one?
Yeah. Let's get some weight going. Who wants this joint?
So,
Grandma's garden, we smoke.
We are in Grandma's garden here. So if people, we're going to get a little bit into her background in a second here as well. If you look closely at these plants, you see there's cannabis all around you.
It's hemp.
Should I pass this?
It's just hemp. Yeah, let's make it rain.
That's racist.
Is it?
Do you have to,
Seriously?
you have to ask? No.
Where you go? You're in so much trouble.
I'm the solution. All right, so everybody who this is your first time at Grandma's Garden, I'm just give you a quick welcome. Number one, right? Is this not a great backdrop? Like as well, there's so much greenery around us, and I think the coolest part about being here in this venue is the fact that you see cannabis plants living in an environment next to
Spider mites.
tomatoes, cucumbers,
Okay, yes. Yeah. It's been a rough year.
right? No, but I mean, you see things in their natural environment, and when you think of the word ex-con, ex-felon, you think
He went there.
right,
Right away.
Jeez.
ex-con, ex-con, ex-felon. You think trapper, like all this stuff. The way that America, these cartels, they paint a picture. You think people look like me, right? Maybe before I put the blazer on, maybe like earlier. You motherfuckers saw me. That came early. Don't come see how the sausage is made. But you think that, right? But when you dig deeper, we have like a little project we're working on, so we can have like everybody on there.
That's top secret.
We don't have a
Don't
project
go
we're
there.
working on. We're not working on nothing at all. But like a lot of people like in our crew, we have backgrounds, right? I was like talking to Fred. I was like, yo, like, do you still search my shit? Like, even if you get your record expunged, you can actually find stuff like on people. There's like the digital trails everywhere, especially now, right? She's a white grandmother and nice neighborhood, like all that stuff. Like, she understands. She's been through this shit.
May or may not have a mug shot
Or two.
or two. Neither one of them am I smiling.
I gotta find mine,
Who smiles in their mug shot?
I think I might have. I was like blackout.
If you have a mug shot with a smile, come talk to me, please. I want to know how you got into that space because I don't know. In my mug shot, I was not happy.
So, so let's back up a little bit. So for everybody, all right, so Susan, give us a brief. We can go deeper like another time, but give us a brief background. Like,
Oh, no, don't make me do that.
tell us. Why not?
Just ask me anything. I just don't want to.
We don't have to go in like all the minutia or anything like that. Just tell us like what side of the industry you're focused on now, and since we are the future state of cannabis, like where do you see this shit going, right?
So
because we have linked on the political side and on like, the news and all of that, like jumping out stories. But like, where do you see this shit going? You've been in this forever. You are an OG, right? You're an OG. You've seen like the complete genesis of this shit. Like, where do you see this shit going? Like, where's your place, and where do you see all of us?
Hopefully, we are gonna stay alive and not be dinosaurs. You know, I'm really worried about mom and pop, but I think that you know, big tobacco, big alcohol, big money is definitely going to come and own 80% of the industry. But I think that they're looking for a story and they don't have one, and we have stories. So the stories are going to win.
Stories sell.
I mean, it's not just about selling, it's just interesting, you know.
Interest sells.
Okay. We got stories. They're trying to make them up, you know. And so I think the future is. Anybody got a lighter?
Can I get a light?
Yeah.
So you have interesting stories too, and one of my favorites here, Jimmy Fallon. Come on, bro. Like, no, like, people want to talk shit, right? So if you guys don't know, like, what's growing in his garden? So this is
marijuana.
Yeah. All right, so she has an excellent children's book, right? And it was actually Jimmy Fallon like had it like out. It's like do not read like list. And I actually read it, and the way he approached it. So I have to talk.
Are you
about
looking
it.
for a joint?
Yeah, like did you get my joint?
You dropped it. You dropped it.
There's joints everywhere. Who's got a joint?
Yes.
So we're smoking blue cheese. Where'd you? You're stepping on it. It's right there.
That's not mine.
Where's the jar of joints? Somebody.
The joint has COVID.
Yeah. Thank you.
There's one left.
Damn.
The universe makes no mistakes.
So we're talking about Tonight Show, Jimmy Fallon. So,
Yeah, tell us a little bit about the Jimmy Fallon
process.
show, Tonight Show. What happened there?
Okay, so I have been an activist for a long time, and one of the things that's bothered me forever is that the anti-cannabis people always they're either not in my backyard or what about the children? And I heard it for a decade. What about the children? And I thought we were done with that. But then 2018, Santa Barbara was having a hard time, and the whole what about the children thing came up again. And I was like, really, seriously? So I'm going to have to write a book so that we can have a tool for grown-ups to talk to their children about cannabis, you know? And so I wrote the book, never meant to be an author, just needed to be done, hired a brilliant illustrator, spent way too much money, did a lot of research, down she goes. And I thought, you know, this is going to end up in elementary school libraries, and I'm going to really make a big difference. And then one morning, a friend of mine called me up and said, "You were on the Tonight Show last night. Oh my God, your book is going to blow up." And I went to YouTube and I looked at
She went on the YouTube.
She went on the YouTubes.
I googled it and watched it, and I started crying. I was devastated because there was a segment on his show. It's called "Do Not Read," and he makes fun of books. And there's books like Deep Frying in the Nude, do not read. You know, like and here's my book. And he's making fun of grandma smoking, growing, plants and hanging out with her grandson and smoking weed.
As somebody outside of the situation, outside of the bubble, I saw it and it was kind of a dick move, right? He didn't even go into the minutia of the book. He didn't even say why you shouldn't. He was like making fun of he was making fun of the page on here where the family is drinking wine
Right.
in front of the kids playing, and you are pictured way back in front of a locked greenhouse.
And he mentioned
smoking a
my
joint, like way back there.
Way back.
Like, is that something wrong? He pointed that out. Shout out to Questlove. But Questlove was like, oh, just like Martha Stewart.
Right.
Right. But what do you think was behind that angst? Was there like
I'm not
darkness
sure.
in Jimmy Fallon's soul that night?
I think pot is popular, and if you can talk about it, whichever direction you're coming from, it gets the clicks. I think that's what it was, for sure. I mean, everyone was like,
I thought he was pro cannabis.
pardon me?
I thought Jimmy Fallon was pro cannabis.
No, he is not.
Oh, did not know that.
He is not.
Gotcha.
He's pro alcohol. Which is, alcohol's cool too, but whatever, It was disappointing. It really was, because I thought the book was mainstream, and he was like, oh, here's this book.
I like it.
Propaganda.
I think it's a good buffer for a lot of people that are just outside the industry and you don't really know what to think of cannabis. I think it's good, right? I think so. Check out the damn book, guys.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
And the thing is that I interviewed a lot of parents. I did
Yeah.
a lot of research, and during the pandemic, well, we're still there, I guess. But
That's why we're here.
That's why we're here. Parents are homeschooling their kids, and they're sneaking in the garage and taking a couple of hits, and don't think their kids know. Your kids know. So if you're consuming cannabis and you're not talking to your kids about that, the only thing that you're teaching your children is that we have secrets. It's not a good lesson.
It's true.
So talk to your kids about cannabis and all the other grown-up stuff,
I'm not gonna hide anything, from my kids when they grow up. I don't want to. You got to be able to teach them. You got to make them stronger.
Is there
That's why.
breaking news right now? You
There's
just said kids. My kids.
Oh, I get back there. No. I want to have more. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, why not? Would you not? How many did you have?
I had 3.
See?
I was just wondering, Rico, dope dad.
Yes. The dopest. Tell us a little bit about Just Take Care.
Let's talk about state of cannabis.
Okay. Tell us about State of Cannabis. What inspired you to start the stickiest news channel on Clubhouse?
Thank you for that question. So I wear all the hats. So a team of one. So it's very difficult to navigate, all the things we have to do. And social media is a big job.
Right.
I hated Twitter from the day it was announced.
I hate
Hated
that shit.
Twitter. It's like, really 142 characters? Was it
Is
142?
that what it is?
I think so.
Yeah. You can go longer, but like it becomes a different.
From the beginning, it was like,
You have to pay for longer.
No, now you can.
Have you ever looked at your past tweets? I didn't know I tweeted as much as I did. I looked past, I was like, I was problematic. I canceled myself.
You should. I never liked it. Instagram,
I had no idea. I was like,
Facebook. You mentioned MySpace tonight. I
shut
wouldn't
up,
go there.
Tom. Shh.
Don't ever say that again. Okay. Nobody
Black
knows
Planet came
about-
before that. You know what? MySpace stole Black Planet, everything about Black Planet.
Nobody's talking about
But
that.
there was 2 Asian news that made Black Planet. Just saying.
Anyway.
Seriously.
So I hate all the social medias, It's just a job. Right? I hate all of them.
What do you hate the most about the social medias?
It's a job. It's a job. So, but the thing is that Clubhouse came along, and it was between Christmas and New Year's, and I didn't have anything to do, and I found the Clubhouse, and I went in, and the very first day, I accidentally clicked this button. It said start a room, and I thought, oh, I'm going to start a room, and I can type about what it is, and no, started a room. I was like, oh shit!
I done made a room.
I made a room. And all of a sudden there was 50 people in there, and there was 100 people in there, and there was 400 people in there, and there was 500 people in there. We were talking about weed, and we could say anything we wanted to. And we were talking about weed, and it went
True
for
freedom
5
of
hours.
speech.
Right, right. And I was like, this is awesome.
That shit was dope. Like, Fred, didn't we get on? No, we did the same shit. It was like, what the fuck is this? We were on there. We
Awesome
started
sauce.
the room before we knew it. It was like hour 7. They were still on it the next day. I was like, what the fuck is this? Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. That was the best week of
And we were talking radical shit on there too.
so much. Right.
So what made you stick with it? Because I was like, this is a waste of time.
No. Because they were so intentional with their algorithm and their policy. Because you had to be invited in, and like I invited you in. If you became a troll,
You can definitely see where the hatred started.
Well, not
If
only
somebody
that,
starts like going like, oh yeah, I'm a hater. You see who the first hater was.
it's not just that. If I invited you in back then, if I'm the reason that you're there and you become a troll and you get in trouble, you get kicked out for life, and so do I.
Oh, you get kicked out
That's the
too?
way it was. Yeah. So they were very intentional in setting the tone. So it's all about being helpful, being kind, and that's why
Define
it's a
it
success.
kind, like helpful. I think that's subjective.
Well, I mean, it's not Twitter. It's not Facebook. Everybody is. Anyway. That's
So if you
my
do
thought.
fucked up shit, you get kicked off.
If you
Is it still like that?
I don't have the answer, but I think so, yes. I'm not sure. Anyway, that's the intention, and that's the algorithm. So I was like, this is beautiful. I love this. And a lot of time learning it.
You built quite a fucking presence on there too.
Thank you. Yeah, because I was early. And we're still all early. That's the thing. We're still early. This is like getting in on the first year of Instagram.
So what is the most beneficial thing of like using a platform like Clubhouse to like build a following? Like what's the most beneficial from that? What do you want to build out of it? What do you want to draw from it?
I want to I believe in the founders. I think they're really smart, and some of the early investors are super smart, and I'm watching what they're doing. And I have to say, before I found Clubhouse, I was a news junkie. I was watching MSNBC and CNN 8, 9, 10 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week. And then I found Clubhouse, and I found a news show on Clubhouse that was just people reporting stuff from around the world. And I was like,
is it news?
News. Yeah. He's an early investor and a friend of the founder. And I was like, this guy is really smart. And the founder keeps saying that that's what they're all about is this type of show. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a cannabis news show. It makes a lot of sense.
You just pulled the trigger.
Found some great people like you.
Hey. So what is next for you, for Clubhouse? What gems are you instilling upon the people?
Well, gems are in the green room. We don't have gems in Clubhouse. That was funny. Did you go in the green room? The Spotify green room? There's a lot of people are
What
ripping
is
off.
that?
So Clubhouse became super popular, and it's now valued at $100 million or something. That was like 5 months ago.
I think it's like over $1 billion or some shit.
Yeah, it probably is. Yeah. It is. So everybody is trying to do like Clubhouse spinoffs or whatever. So Spotify
Rip-offs.
Rip-offs.
The
Thank you.
rip-offs?
Yeah.
Looking
Yeah.
up the value.
Yeah. Twitter had, what did Twitter have? They had
Twitter chats.
and it's already
They shut them
gone.
down. Yeah.
It's already gone. Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg had a beta version of it. I just stumbled into that and it was kind of disappointing. The thing about
Clubhouse closed an undisclosed $4 billion valuation.
yeah, there you go. Yeah. And it's because Clubhouse doesn't have the baggage of Twitter or the baggage of Facebook. It's their intention was, right from the beginning. So
How are they going to become profitable?
nobody knows. That's the thing. They still don't know.
They're data harvesting? Local?
Should we go there? Look, the bottom line is they have committed that they don't make money unless we make money. Creators with a lowercase c. They always say, you don't have to be Jay-Z. You can just like put on a show like the State of Cannabis News Hour, and you should be able to make a living. That's what they're saying. If you can't make a living off your show,
You ain't
then,
shit.
No, then they aren't shit. That's perfect. So that's what's interesting. But like they're promising no advertising. Facebook tried to buy them out, and they went like this to Mark Zuckerberg.
Facebook promised no advertising back in the day. And back in the day too.
Facebook tried to buy them, and they gave Mark Zuckerberg the middle finger, and Mark Zuckerberg was so intrigued by Clubhouse that he had to come into Clubhouse and make a room twice knowing that they hated his ass, and he came on twice. So
Does anybody like Mark Zuckerberg?
it's all the audience.
So what is next for Susan Soares?
That's a very good question. I don't even know what's going to happen a couple months from now. I was about to sign a contract to book a venue for the next in-person conference, but then Delta.
Low-key variant. Some people know.
Who knows?
It's got a mischief.
I feel like we're missing a sound effect.
No, we need one. No, so next up in the industry.
Thank you.
Yeah. We need to work that in. We're gonna edit that. No, so what is next in the industry? Like you get all this news every single day. What do you think is the future of the industry overall? So the business side, the wellness side, the lifestyle part of the industry. You work with all of these people.
All of the things.
Yeah, you speak with a lot of politicians as well. You have access to a lot of them that other people do not have. Where's the wellness side of this industry go? It should start with wellness, right?
Yeah.
It should start with as medicine, right? So where is that going?
God, Rico, I don't know. I mean, when Prop 19 failed, that was 2010. I think it was 2010. When Prop 19 failed, we all got together and everyone was like, what do we do? And
What was Prop 19?
Richard Lee paid $1 million to get the signatures gathered for, it was the first adult use legislation in California, but it didn't pass. And then Colorado did their constitutional 64 thing, and they did have a victory. So Prop 19 was the very first adult use legislation in California, in the world, but it didn't pass. And so all of the activists got together and were like, what should we do next? And I remember Mason Shervert from MPP said, here's a slogan, let's treat marijuana like wine. And And I was like,
Black people in the white neighborhood.
weed whackers. Yeah. Anyway,
It's
so
not racist.
So Mason Trevor came up with this idea that he would say, let's treat marijuana like wine. And I said, no, that's a terrible idea. Let's not do that. Why would we called it marijuana back then because we didn't realize how racist it was. But I thought it was a terrible idea. And everyone said, no, we're going to get our foot in the door and we're going to, I said, but we're setting ourselves up to a sin tax. Like we're saying that we should be overly taxed.
Because there's no real benefit from drinking a bunch of wine.
Right. But they went with it, and that's where we are now.
So do you think
So
legalization is going to come soon? Do you think it's going to be sooner
on a
than people
federal
think?
level, well, so after that happened, everyone went with it, and we're paying ridiculous taxes. And then COVID happened. And I thought, this is great because we became essential. And I thought, we're going to get back to the medical piece. But it didn't really happen, again, because everyone just wants to make a lot of money. So I don't know. I don't know where we're going. It would be great if we could go back to the wellness piece. But I don't know. Who knows?
You don't think it's going there?
I hope so. I do. I hope so. But I don't know. Congress
Grim.
is a mess right now.
That's pretty grim.
We can hope.
But as a realist, it's not going to happen. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know. I think that we're either going to have a period where Philip Morris takes over, like we were talking about on the news show today, and
So the cigarettes are not going to be here in 10 years.
Right.
Because they're pushing the vape products.
Right.
Well, people don't realize that they're already in the cannabis industry.
And have been for a long time.
Yeah.
Right. So we claw our way back to getting the craft piece of it.
Right.
Maybe that'll happen. But I'm still not ruling out the fact that the whatever you want to call it, illicit, traditional,
Let's call it
legacy, whatever,
It's the trap.
wherever you trap, non-taxed, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
That could be the winner. I mean,
So you think they're going to just let people start trapping on crazy levels?
I think all of the regulated market is going to fail and explode, and we're going to have to start over because it's not working. I mean, right now in California, there's up to 45% taxes on regulated cannabis, and then we're going to regulate it on a federal level. And we're going to add another 15 to 25% tax and regulation. What the fuck? No way. That's not going to work.
For real.
That will not work.
No way.
So what's going to happen?
Grandma's garden.
People need to start growing their own shit.
Yes.
That's a real message. People should be growing their own
Why
medicine.
wouldn't they? And you just go on nextdoor.com and you say, hey, any veterans in my neighborhood who want some free weed? Here you go. Should we
Nice.
get together and make some oil, whatever? Let's just, grassroots.
Like that.
So what is next for Susan Soares within the next week? I'm going to talk about the big picture this week. What's going on? What should people look out for?
Oh, thank
And where
you.
can they find you?
Thank you. So I love the team that we have on Clubhouse. We have, if you haven't already experienced the State of Cannabis News Hour on Clubhouse, this is the best project I've ever worked on with the most incredible team of people. And I'm so honored to have found these people that I love so much that work so hard every day to comb through the stories and bring not just news, but personality and transparency.
There's some good shit going on in the news
and
right
we're
now.
getting better.
It's fun.
It's so much fun. And we're going to have a team meeting on Sunday, and I'm super excited to see the next edition of the State of Cannabis News Hour in Clubhouse.
That's what's up. So you guys look out for that. Everybody at home as well. Susan Soares, the most connected, political. She has an incredible wellness story about her too. She doesn't want to talk about it tonight. We'll see about that later. Look her up, see what she's done, see what Jimmy Fallon said about her too.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
He
And
broke my internet in a bad way.
I don't know how to respond to that. Where can I find you?
Stateofcannabis.org.
That's what's up.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Rico.
much.
Thank
Let's give
Thank
a
you,
huge
Rico.
round of applause to the legend, the OG herself, Susan Soares.
Thank you.
So, any last words about the home, about Grandma's Garden? Do you want to talk about that?
Oh,
Before we-
yes. So we're smoking some blue cheese, which is amazing. Shout out to blue cheese.
Blue cheese.
Blue cheese.
Yes. Okay, so
Is that like your signature strain?
it's I don't
Strand.
it's cultivar. Yeah, no, it's just the easiest cultivar that I've ever grown. It smells delicious, nothing like blue cheese, but yummy. And 2 or 3 harvests a year in the backyard. I've got some Granddaddy Purple right there. It's GDP. Oh yeah, it is. It is from the man himself. Citrus Crunch and Purple Punch, and there's a little bit of what have we got? Medic and Todd McCormick's lemonade, and that's all I'm legally allowed to have.
I can dig it.
You can dig it. She can dig it.
We can dig it. He can dig it. We can dig it. Yeah. That's about it, man. It's time to close the night out. Anything you want to tell the good people as a host of the venue as well?
Sign up for the State of Cannabis.
Sign, Karen. I love cannabis. Smoke weed every day.
Goodbye. Much love, everybody. Thank you for Susan Soares. Thank you for hosting us tonight. Me and Fred, we're going to have some closing words with the good people. And thank you for everything you do. Now, Fred, I'd like to tell the people how they can get more involved with CANiPRENEUR, anything you have coming up in the immediate future, and what can we leave them with on this good evening?
Well, is this not a beautiful venue? Thank you again. Appreciate it. It's totally amazing. So as you know, we've got this little Rona thing going on right now. So we always do our little half-second step back, and we talked about it just to make sure. Good.
Like Iverson. He's in the game now, man.
Half-second ankle breaker. So what we wanted to do was to, I had to call Rico out because here's a man who's bled his heart out to the whole planet about how cannabis saved his life 3 times, and he stopped talking about it. And I'm just like, bro, like, people need to hear this story. But more importantly, you're showing courage as far as it's totally possible to not only pivot, but survive.
So you have a very powerful message, and that's why we're all here. So what we wanted to do was to really break down the elements of communication, because that's what's going to take us past all this BS that we're seeing out here in the marketplace right now. You know, there's a real systematic divide and conquer process that's going on in real time. And if we don't become aware of that, and also understand that we have to challenge it, but also nurture what we want to have happen in this industry, we ain't gonna make no money. We won't have a legacy play. And when we were first doing stuff this time last year, we were seeing these patterns as far as people coming into the industry, divide and conquer, rape, pillage, and plunder, and then they leave. And then we had the SPACs coming in and all this other crazy stuff. You have to learn acronyms, and none of that stuff really matters. To me, what matters is how do we get our unfair share, period. As long as we have street credibility and we have each other as far as collectively coming together, we all should be able to eat. They're going to do what they're going to do. And I know I can't compare myself to a multinational enterprise level corporation because I did that for a long time. So what I told Rico was, bro, let's break down the elements of how you talk, the communication, because there's a difference between influence versus selling. This is a very influential platform. Everybody here is influential. So what are we doing to expand our knowledge, you know, our beliefs to our communities? So what we decided to do until COVID is officially back over is we're doing more stuff online, but at the exact same time, go over his TED Talk and really show you, hey, it's totally cool to do this yourself. And that's why we're offering a course on how to actually do it. Does that make sense? Would that have an interest for people out here in the audience right now? To how to actually get your message out properly so that it's bulletproof practically? Because that's what I did for a time, and your tax dollars paid for it. Yeah, so it's kind of a big deal. I can't go into that level of it, but we can do a civilian version that's very powerful and effective. But when I saw his TED Talk, I'm like, bro, like, you're being weird. Like, I love you. You are my brother. I should also be your brother enough to just kick your ass. It's just like, let's get out there and go. So that's all I want to tell you, man. You know, I really do appreciate how this audience and everybody whose life you've personally touched. Every time I've done an event with you, it's always been life-changing. So thank you. But that's what our offer is right now. And if you want to know more about it, just hit him up, hit me up. We're very accessible. And much love to everybody who came out tonight. It's a big deal. Ladies and gentlemen, sexual chocolate. I appreciate you, man.
Don't you agree?
I appreciate everybody coming out. A lot of our friends reached out to us and they said they wanted to learn how to present better. They wanted to learn how to communicate better to business folks, so they don't have to sell their companies for pennies on the dollar, right?
Right.
They can actually build a brand better. They just don't have those coalitions built.
Yes.
So that's
what did you call it again? Green money? Weed money?
Collaborative societies, right?
Weed money. I love that.
Weed money. Weed money.
We gotta make that
all
hashtag
green.
trend. Yeah, that's fire.
He has ways.
I know. I'm right here.
Yeah. But no, seriously, thank you for everything that you do. And like I said, this is not
Appreciate you,
just
man.
yeah, I
Thank
appreciate you too. This is our forum. This is our platform. So my question would be, you know, if you want to get up on here when it starts slowing down, let us know. Like, we want to cultivate and develop everybody who we're talking to. Does that make sense? Because I don't be all weird about it. You know, I'm not a guru. He's not a guru. He's actually too humble, and that's why I literally cussed him out. I'm like, look, let me explain something to you. It's not too many brothers and sisters out here who speak as articulate and still have a heart and actually give a shit about people. Period. We usually take the money and they go. I've seen it. I've done it. I did it for 20 years with nothing but 7 and 10 figure people. I helped one this time last year. He was using everybody and he exited for a 7-figure payout. It's not necessary. It's totally possible to do stuff in this industry, still make a decent living, but also have a nice lifestyle and be your own rock star in your own community while you're serving others to the highest level. What's wrong with that? Literally and figuratively highest level. Ooh, right? It's them butter bars, yo. Let's go. You ready to flow?
Saturated. Boy.
Yeah. But no, seriously though, thank you so much. And Rico, just tell us what you see the future of, because I literally call him one of our cannabis futurists because he's so far ahead of the curve. Sometimes I literally have to pull him out the clouds and go, bro, please slow down because we need to know, us humans need to know what's going on. So what do you see as far as the future goes?
There's gonna be a lot of chaos on the front end of things, but there's a great shift happening in the market right now. I see. Like we were talking about earlier, there has to be collaboration if you want anything of substance on the culture side of the industry, the lifestyle side. If you want that to thrive, you have to use that side of it, right? The business side of it is not really doing what it needs to do to reach out to the communities as good as they can. They're not going as deep. They're not being proactive. There's a huge opportunity there for them. The wellness, the medicine side of this plant, it's always going to win in the long run. My long money is on the medicine side, the wellness side. As a community, we have to recognize, we have to uplift those who came before us. People die for this shit. People are still dying for this shit. Right? You have to respect that part of the game and respect everything came from somebody's abuela's stash, right? Mm-hmm. We were taught that this was medicine, and now they're coming and telling us it's medicine, and they're profiting off of our ideas, our communities. We just want our cut. Yeah, that's it. Just we can all eat from this. There's a huge opportunity, but I think that legalization is coming quicker than people think. Yeah. You have to act quicker. You have to be able to communicate. You need to be able to connect those dots. And not too many people are doing that.
So in this big Farsight report, we predicted, because I know we made a prediction, I'm thinking 2023 first quarter maybe.
Maybe before midterms.
Well, the logic behind it is you've already got the beverage industry in here. You already have the ATF that's registering vape cartridges now. I mean,
there's rumors that Champs got raided for Delta 8.
Yeah, the Attorney General, somebody handed him samples.
But did it really happen though? I don't know.
Yeah, figure 8, Delta 8, something like that. And we got a Delta variant.
It's all connected.
It is. But seriously though, it's just like that's what we see. It's just a lot of the infrastructure from the government coming in, and there's smoke, there's fire. And I have a tax license for years, so they're already doing their forms of forensic audits to figure out how they're going to get their dollar legal. It's here, and by the time it does become legal, it may be already too late for people who aren't in the game. And that's the reasons why we're futurists. We're all futurists. Yes or yes?
Yes.
What do you have to do to be like qualified as a futurist? Like I feel like I'm on the fence, you know?
That's actually a good question. I think it really boils down to 3 things, and it's ethos, pathos, and logos. That's what Aristotle, as far as Aristotelian philosophy, we want to get super esoteric about it for my people in the back. You know, it's a triangle.
Lot of mercy.
It's a delta. It's the 3 sides to it.
How many deltas?
8. There's 8 deltas. We only go over level 1 for the humans.
If you're 8, does 8 deltas make a sigma?
Either way, you just can't hate 8. Just realize it, even on the side or on top, it's still 8.
Oh, so it's like eggs.
Yes. But, you know, everything's already here. So if we want to learn how to monetize it, we have to learn, regardless of whether you have your own dispensary, regardless of whether you have your own grow, regardless of whether get out of this business and get into the people business. How about that? Is that an easy way to say it? Because people make this plant move. People make this medicine heal other people. You know, the plant's not really going to move itself. We've already seen people with expired cannabis on their shelves. So really, so marketing has screwed up communication. And that's one of the reasons why I'm in this industry, is because it's communication is so commoditized right now that we can't even have a regular conversation without people thinking that we're trying to sell them something. Think about how stupid that is. You know, my family's from down south. I'm first generation northerner.
But aren't we always selling things to each other? Influence?
So I think
Processes?
influence is different than persuasion. Influence is designed for conversions. If you look at Oprah Winfrey, she can put something out for 30 minutes and it influences millions of people. It's designed to convert, except on a higher level. Persuasion is more like, I say this, you do that, the money magically slides across the table. There's a forms of that, negotiations, you know, all that kind of stuff, sales. There's
a formula behind it.
Yeah. And that's pretty much what I've been working on behind the scenes in CANiPRENEUR, because we have to understand these small key distinctions in order for us to get breakthroughs in our business. It's a difference between having 5 figures a month versus 6 figures a month. It's a difference between really seeing, even if you have a commoditized market, how do you stand out? That's what I did for 20 years with automotive dealers. How's it that this one Ford store can sell 200 cars and this Ford store sells 20 cars? They're right down the street from each other. So it's these little small subtle differences that if we take this in the cannabis industry and just really run with it now, since we're early, we're going to win. But more importantly, stay connected and understand that we're connected by the air we breathe and the plant we smoke or eat or exactly rub on your screen. You'll scream. Yeah. But
That's what's up. So thank you for everything that you do, Fred. Any last words you want to give the good people at home?
like Russell Simmons says, thank you all for coming out. God bless. Good night.
DJ Ryan.
Do the raffle.
Oh, the raffle.
Vanessa's bringing it.
Done?
Done?
The raffle?
All right. Who won this
Can
rap?
we play some soft music? Like,
Can we get some
some
elevator
Tinashe,
music?
some Tinashe. Some Her. DJ Marble Rye.
And the winner is.
It's kind of heavy. I'll break something. All right.
And whatever else y'all want to see while he's pulling this out, just hit us up at hello@canipreneur.com or info@canavision.com. He's the yin, I'm the yang, I'm the yang, he's the yin. You know, we just make it win. Who won?
Money Girl.
Money girl.
Money girl? Girl, you gotta play the winner. You hear? Money girl?
Yay.
Is Money Girl here? Going once?
Muddy.
Is
that Karen?
That might be Muddy Girl Media.
Karen?
Karen? Oh, that is Karen. Muddy Girl Media.
I would have given it away if she. Yeah, it's Money Girl Media.
Yeah, is she here?
I thought she was. If she's not, we're gonna give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
Is Karen here?
Going once?
No. Going once. Karen.
Going
It's an unfortunate
toward.
name.
I know, right? That's exactly what I was thinking. I was about to see. Sometimes he just says the shit I'm thinking. I'm gonna write a letter. Going twice.
Going twice. Karen. No. Sorry, Karen.
All right.
All right. Let's see. Kimberly Roth.
Is Kimberly here? Come on, give it up to Kimberly.
Turn up.
Turn it up.
Turn up for Jesus.
Turn it up.
Um,
We are the Vaz. Yeah, it's
I
beautiful.
would like be the one to just like break it right now.
No, I've watched you catch things with your toenails.
Yay! Thank you. All
Yeah,
right.
that's
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
We'll get you the box right now.
Can you take a picture with them?
Yeah.
Can you take a picture with them?
Oh, sorry.
Can you take a picture?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. I'm not calling that. I'm not calling it a vibe.
We ready? 1, 2, 3. All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Enjoy your bus.
Thank you.
Do we have something that she can wrap this in?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna give her the box right now. Yeah, Vanessa's got it.
All right.
Can we get a little bit of like some soft music at least? Only like walk around aimlessly.
Yes. And thank you so much for coming out. We can please, next steps is just network, talk to us, let you know what you want to see.
And make some friends.
Make some friends.
Make sure you guys build your business, build your network, like have some fun with our people. We got some good food. Brandon,
Yes.
check out Fruit Slabs as well. It's a great community. Thank you guys all for coming out. We have a little bit of chill time until Susan kicks us out. So just remember, at the end of the day, when life gives you no place else to turn, you got to turn up.
Turn up.
I love you all.
All right. Now, much love, y'all. Peace.